Hey you guys, Kristen here. Happy Tuesday. So first of all, if you are feeling any similar to how I'm looking right now, do you see my hair? It is up in a messy bun. Okay, hashtag fit pro. This is what we typically look like. But if you're feeling like out of control, like super just stressed out with the new year coming up and all the things you have going on, you are in the right place. So thank you so much for joining me today. And this whole training is all about why you can't seem to control yourself around the holiday time, which there's a lot of reasons why. And so I'm going to kind of divide this into 4 categories as to why this time of year is really stressful, frustrating, and even just we feel like we can't get any me time in this time of year. There's 4 reasons why. There's 4 circumstances as to why this time of year is so stressful. And what we do is typically, number 1, we blame other people. Oh, I got to do this for my family. I've got to get, dinner ready. I have to get all the foods that they love. So we blame other people, right? Number 2, we just blame like all these additional parties and all these social events that we feel obliged to go to, and we, don't want to turn them down, or we want to embrace the new year. And so we blame all of these social events for getting us off track and not being able to stick to our fitness goals. Number 3, we blame our taste buds and we blame our cravings, right? Oh, well, there's just more pumpkin pie around and there's more cookies around and all these different foods. Like food is everywhere and I just have no ability to push it away or say no, right? So we blame our taste buds for not being able to, turn certain foods away. And then number 4, guys, is just like the time of year. We blame December, for example. Oh, well, this time of year every year, I just can't seem to control anything. There's just all this food around me and just how it is, and I have no control of it, okay? So those are the circumstances that we blame. So we blame all these circumstances, guys, but I'll tell you guys the real problem here, it's you, okay, or it's us. Everyone that's falling into this category, okay? So this training is really a lot about mindset, okay? Because that's what I mean by you controlling your ability to, work outside of these circumstances or deal with these circumstances, okay? And, we hear this term mindset a lot, and I think a lot of people don't really know what that means. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you words that you do know what they mean and you probably have heard before. So for example, this time of year we lack discipline, okay? We lack willpower. This is something I hear on a daily basis from people that are struggling with their health and weight loss journey. They lack all of those things, okay? Discipline, willpower, and motivation. All of those things, that is your mindset, okay? Even each one individually, you can argue, is your mindset, but definitely all of those things compose your mindset, okay? And your mindset essentially is your thoughts, right? And so, you've heard me say this before, our greatest source of motivation comes from our own thoughts, okay? So when people tell me they have no motivation, they lack discipline, it's because they can't control their thoughts, right? And that's what this training is really gonna be about today. So if you're on here looking for like healthy recipes for the holidays, I'm gonna be very honest with you and tell you up front, I'm not talking about that today because I could tell you the healthiest foods to eat around the holidays, but that doesn't mean you're gonna eat them because there's still gonna be unhealthy options there. And how are you going to steer away from those and eat the healthier foods? That's the problem that no one wants to talk about, okay? We're all caught up in like healthy recipes and working out, but like no one deals with our thoughts. And I'm gonna give you guys another truth, and I've talked about this before. Health and weight loss, 80% of your success on this journey is in your mind, okay? And then the other 20% is your food, so your diet, and then your exercise. And what we've heard for so many years, guys, is that weight loss is 80% food and 20% nutrition. And as a personal trainer, as a nutrition coach, I'm here to tell you that that is false information. And that is why I do what I do now. I create my weight. It's 80% mindset, 20% food and fitness. So this training is really going to work on your mindset. And something that I'm seeing a lot in, people that I talk to and, clients that I work with as well is that this time of year tends to generate some fear, okay, some worry in our life that we are just not going to be able to stick to a healthier diet. So why even bother, okay? And there's a lot of circumstances that kind of come about, right, when we come to the holiday time, okay? So first of all, when it comes to the holidays, families getting together, right? That brings stress as well, okay? How many of you stress out about the idea of all these family members? If you're married, having your in-laws come in, all these people under one roof. Sometimes there's like family tension. Sometimes there's just like the overwhelm of having 10, 20 people in your house at one time. That alone creates stress, okay? And so oftentimes people eat to, soothe themselves because it's the only way they know how to deal with the stress of the holidays. And guys, as much as I love Christmas and, all the different holidays, they're super stressful. There is really no way around it. It's just a matter of how you deal with that stress, right? So that's one reason why we seem like we can't control, is because there's a lot of stress with just families coming together. It's an amazing time of year for that, but it's a curse and a blessing at the same time, okay? Number two, we also tend to culturally think that this is a special time of year and we have to eat certain foods to enjoy it. We tell ourselves it's the only time of year that I can have stuffing and the only time of year I can have pumpkin pie. And in many cases, I'm not saying all cases, but in many cases, that's just simply not true. Okay, last time I checked, there is pumpkin pie at any grocery store, 365 days a year, right? So we tell ourselves, well, it's just this one time, this one small indulgence, like no big deal. And that's cool if it's like one small indulgence, but in my experience, it's many indulgences over an extended period of time. And then we hit January and we're like, what the hell just happened, right? What happened to me in December? Why did I let myself go to the wayside? And all of this stress comes into play, okay? So we add more stress to our life if we wait until January to get ourselves under control, okay? Another thing that causes stress for people and why we can't seem to control ourselves during the holiday is because we set our expectations so high for the perfect holiday, right? You almost want to recreate the scene out of a holiday movie, okay? You want to have like the perfect Christmas dinner, Hanukkah dinner, Kwanzaa dinner, whatever you're celebrating. You want to have this like picture perfect dinner for everybody. You think that people are going to judge you or not have as good of a Christmas if you don't have everyone's favorite food and all the perfect presents, and you don't put the elf on the shelf or the mensch on the bench, whatever you want to call it. You don't put them in the right places, and your kids will figure out if it's really you or not, right? All these thoughts go through our minds. And oftentimes we end up eating, to soothe ourselves, like I said, or you're eating all these foods that you normally wouldn't eat just because you feel like you have to put those foods out, or Christmas or whatever holiday you're celebrating is ruined, okay? So, this whole idea of perfection, guys, this is also why sometimes we feel like the holidays are out of our control, because we have this really high expectation of having to be perfect, all right? Or, to relieve the stress that the holiday brings, right? We add more things to our plate, okay? We take on more than we can chew, right? Physically and literally, right? We're overeating in the holidays because it's like the only way I can enjoy the holidays is if I overeat, right? Or if I overindulge. It's the thing that everybody does, so I should just do the same thing, or my holiday's not going to be the same, okay, as it has in the past. So these are all the stresses, okay? And also too, guys, the holiday hype is everywhere, okay? This year, guys, Christmas decorations have been up since, October? Like here in Delray Beach, Florida, our Christmas tree, which is one of the tallest in the country, went up in October, like mid-October, and it wasn't even Thanksgiving. So, we have been surrounded by holiday hype for the last 2 months, essentially. And so I've seen people stress out for 2 months. It's almost like as soon as the Christmas decorations or all the holiday decorations go up, people's blood sugar levels like skyrocket, okay? Their blood pressure goes through the roof. So it's just like this hype, and you feel like, oh, well, I can't escape it, so I might as well just enjoy, enter it and be a victim to it, okay? That's your choice, okay? But, also too, guys, a couple other stresses I hear in the lack of control over the holidays is that you might be worrying about your family commenting on your weight or commenting on your food choices, watching what you're eating. Maybe they'll say something that you won't like. So instead of drawing attention to yourself, you just act as you normally would, or as you would be expected to act, okay? And I get that. This time of year is meant to be peaceful and not bring any kind of adversity. And so you tend to kind of just feed into other people's expectations, okay? Or you might not have family nearby, okay? You might not have this family to celebrate with, and you feel lonely or left out deep down. And that causes you to turn to food for, comfort and to feel to be part of something, to be part of this holiday hype. If you're not with family, you're with all these different foods, right? And that's your source of happiness. So these are the common worries that I hear around the holiday time that leads us to feel out of control. So what I want to ask you here is, what are you worried about? Like, what are the fears, going through your mind? Okay. And oftentimes, guys, fear, okay, that is the underlying emotion, okay, of worry, of loneliness, of inadequacy, okay? So for example, with loneliness, you're afraid of being alone for the rest of your life, right? Or afraid of never having someone to celebrate the holidays with. And so you eat, okay, to comfort. So these are all examples of emotional eating, and emotional eating as an all-time high during the holiday time. And I know that term emotional eating has such a negative connotation in our society and no one really talks about it. And I'm here to bring it up to the forefront because every person that I've ever worked with, myself, I battled with emotional eating for years, okay? And it's normal, but it's how we overcome emotional eating, how we deal with it, that makes us a stronger person, more confident, more resilient to uncontrollable circumstances, and gets us the results that we want. So that's why I'm here for this training. But what I want to talk about now is, this fear, okay, and how this fear controls our thoughts. Because as I said before, our thoughts control everything in our life. Our thoughts control our feelings, they control our actions, and they ultimately determine our results. So here are the thoughts that I'm hearing a lot this time of year. And tell me if you resonate with any of these. So those of you who are joining me right now, you can type in the comments if you have specific questions, and I'll definitely comment there and I'll respond to you. But if you resonate with any of these thoughts, go ahead and write it in the comment box, okay? So in the past, you've always given in and given up, okay? You went into December or around the holiday time thinking, I can do this, like I'm gonna watch what I eat in moderation, whatever, and then you just give in to whatever's around you and you give up. Because here are the thoughts that you're thinking. It's too much work, okay, to try to eat healthier food, to come up with a plan, to explain to people why I'm not eating mac and cheese on 2 different plates, and I'm just avoiding certain foods. I don't want to have to explain myself. I don't want to have to think about the right foods to eat, the quantities. It's just too much work, okay? Too much to think about. It's upsetting. I'm upset when I can't eat the foods that I want, right? That's a thought that I hear a lot, okay? I'm afraid of missing out. I'm afraid of missing out on Christmas if I don't have, eggnog on Christmas Eve. And I'm afraid of missing out on dessert because once Christmas is over, I can't have dessert for another month, right? Once January hits, no more sweets. Is that the thought that you've had for how many years, right? And that's why January, there's this huge rush because everyone's like eating whatever in December. Because we're out of control, right? So what happens is because we have these thoughts, we have this fear of missing out, we have this really high expectation that we have to have the perfect Christmas dinner, we can't miss any of the foods. There's just too much to think about. I don't want to have to worry about sticking to a plan. We tend to just give up. We give in to eating whatever is put in front of us, okay? And in the past, you guys, you did this because you didn't know how to manage the stress and all of these thoughts going through your mind. And these holiday thoughts, that's what I just mentioned to you guys. And so you assumed everything would be the same. So you're like, well, I don't even want to bother, right? Because truth be told, it's much easier to give into old habits than try new ones, okay, when you don't have the right game plan. Okay, or let's say you've lost weight. Let's say over the last few months, you've lost weight, you've been sticking to a plan, you're feeling great, okay? Let's say your plan's been pretty strict. And then now all these holiday foods aren't on your food plan. So now you're like, okay, well, great. Well, let me just take a hiatus for the month of December or these next 2 weeks. And then come January, I'll get right back onto my plan, okay? That's another thought that people think as well, right? And that's how they get off track. And then it's much harder to get on track come January, okay? And here's what I hear a lot when it comes to that situation where you're on a strict plan and you just kind of give up in December, okay? The truth is you're not secure with how you've lost weight. Because if you've lost weight without understanding any of these fears or how to deal with these tough situations, you're nervous about your ability to stick to your plan. And you feel like you're going to undo all this hard work. So that's why you feel out of control during the holidays, because you know that your plan is not sustainable. It's not realistic. It's not designed for you to enjoy the holidays, because you can't eat a lot of the foods that are going to be in front of you. So you're like, whatever, I'm just going to like not do anything for the next few weeks, and I'll just kick it up in January. Because you're not dealing with the thoughts up here, right? It's too hard as you think. So you also know deep down that it's really hard to sustain a new habit. And, it's very easy to undo them, like I said before, right? So you're like, I'll just wait, to make a new habit. And, I can't argue with you guys, like your old habits are going to be definitely stronger than your new ones, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't overcome that, okay? Because everything comes from up here, like I said, okay? And I said this too, like you think you're nervous about what people are going to say about you, okay? And it's just easier to do. Stick with what you're used to, because what people expect of you, okay? So, what do we do with all these thoughts, right? How do we change them? Okay, the first step is to uncover like your source of worry. So I want to know like what comes up for you, okay? So like these thoughts, like I was saying, this is a special occasion, so no big deal. This is special food. They'll notice what I'm eating, okay, or what I'm not eating. I don't want to deal with people. I'm going to miss out on the fun. People will push food on me and I don't want to upset them. It's more fun to eat the holiday foods. YOLO, like I'm just going to do whatever I want, okay? Some people get into boredom eating this time of year because you're just sitting around all day. Think about Christmas Day. Like you're probably sitting around opening presents, and there's nothing else to do but eat, right? So you're just eating mindlessly. But maybe you're around people that you don't really want to be around. So you're like, ugh, like this is no fun. So all I'm gonna do is just sit here and eat and drink. So you're just eating for that. Okay. I have no control of what I eat. Right? Food's everywhere, I can't avoid it. Just a few bites won't hurt. A few meals won't hurt me. A week of bad meals won't hurt me. Right? These are the thoughts going through your mind. These are a lot of thoughts. Okay? But here is the thoughts. I'm going to show you guys a little piece of paper here. All those thoughts that I just listed to you, it boils down to this, okay? Food is the source of my happiness. Honestly, I just listed like, what, 20, maybe 30 thoughts. I didn't count them. This is what it boils down to, every single one, right? And what we have to do, guys, is undo this thought. Because really, guys, like if food is the only source of our happiness, that's a problem. Because no matter what diet you're on, no matter how often you exercise, if this is the thought going through your mind all the time, we're not going to make lifelong changes. End of story. And I know this is an overarching thought during this time of the year, okay? So what we need to do is we need to reframe this thought, okay? Is this true, first of all? Okay, is this true? Would everyone I know think the exact same thing, okay? And then if not, okay, then this is your thought. This is not everybody's thought. This is your thought. And this is what's stopping you from having control, okay? How is this thought affecting how you feel? All right, think about that. Like if food is the only source of your happiness, what does that mean for your life? What do we need to change, okay? If you eat how you're used to eating and continue just to overindulge and feel bad about it, how are you going to feel once the holidays are over? Okay? Does it help you feel confident, or does it hold you back from reaching your goal? Okay? So like, no matter what is going on around you guys this time of year, you can be at peace in the midst of all the chaos. That's what I really want you to understand. Okay? Because you may not be in control of when the holidays are. You can't control that December is like the holiday time of year. You can't control what your family and your friends eat or think or what is served. But you have to remind yourself, and I'm here to remind you, that you do have control over yourself, your mind, and your body. Okay? You are always in charge of you. That is the bottom line. Okay? So your mood, your mental state, and your mindset, right? All the same thing. It's created by your thinking. So no matter what is going on around you, even during the holidays. Okay? So no one has the power to change your thoughts except for you. Okay? So, the only fact here, guys, about the holidays is that it's in December. Okay? Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve, right, is always December 31st. Like, that is a fact. We can't change that. We have no control over it. But what I want to ask you now, and this is going to be a little bit of the training here, what are you making the holidays mean? And once you really understand that, that is when you can start to repurpose, or recreate your purpose for the holidays and get control over your thoughts and over your eating, right? Gaining control and honoring yourself. The other day I did a whole training on how to honor yourself and how important that is this time of year. If you didn't see it, go back in the group and watch it. But I'm gonna ask you again, like, what are you making the holidays mean? Okay, so what I want you to do, okay, is understand that you get to decide what the holidays mean. Okay, of course there's going to be like what Hallmark thinks the holidays mean, and Lifetime, or whatever movie channels there are, and the stores or whatever, and then there's what you think it means. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to get out a piece of paper, okay, if you're really doing this training, taking it seriously. So first of all, you guys, I'm moving next week, and in my new office, I have like a whiteboard and all this nice new stuff. So like my trainings will be legit. I can't wait for that. I have like my old classroom once again. But simply, guys, this is a simple strategy, okay? Take out a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, okay? And I really want you to think, like, what do the holidays mean to others? Okay, so others meaning like your friends, your family, society, culture, whatever, your religion, okay? And then what does the holiday mean to me, okay? And I'll be very honest, like, when you write your thoughts down about what other people think and what you think, you're gonna see some similarities. But what I really want you to focus on is what it means to you. Okay, so I'll give you an example. To me, the holidays mean family time. Okay, so for example, like I was born on Thanksgiving, so to me it's like, yay, I'm turning whatever age it is, and I just really like being with my family. Thanksgiving's all about like food. Yeah, food's part of it, but I can still eat foods that I like and not completely overindulge, right? Food, it's about family, and it's about football, right? And that Thanksgiving, but Christmas, okay, or Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. What are those holidays about? Okay, it's about giving gifts. It's about decorations, right? It's about, maybe some holiday traditions. It's about celebrating, the Messiah. It's about Jesus Christ, whatever, the religious part of the holiday. But what does it mean to you? It's bonding with your family and friends. It's, getting together, getting off of work, playing in the snow if you live up north. If you're like me in South Florida, being really grateful to be around palm trees in the ocean and not freezing to death like everyone else. So what do the holidays mean to you? And what I'm going to encourage you to do here, guys, is to make the holidays mean something that is not food related. Because what ultimately happens, guys, is over here, usually it's about food, and many times, okay? But you can make it mean something different for you, right? That's the key. What are you making this holiday mean? Okay. The thing is, you get to decide what the holiday means to you. Okay. And, think about like what your ideal holiday looks like. What do you say yes to and no to? How do you want to eat? How do you take care of yourself during this busy time of year? How do you simplify this time of year for you, so you don't want to pull your hair out? That's why my hair is up, so I don't pull it out, right? Ask yourself the right questions, and your brain will find the right answers, okay? Where focus goes, energy flows. I've said that a lot, okay? So if you're always thinking about food and you're thinking about pleasing everyone, that's the only thing you're gonna think about all the time. And those are the answers you're gonna look for. Well, what foods do I need to please other people? What do I have to buy to please other people? What about yourself? Okay, when you start to think about yourself, you're going to find it's much easier to eat the right foods and to stay on track and plan ahead and sticking to your plan. Oh, that's a whole nother training right there. My clients just did one of those a couple days ago. But that is really the key. You have to decide ahead of time that you are going to make Christmas mean something to you. Your holiday means something to you. Okay, so how can you make the time to plan ahead? How can you make breaks for yourself? How can you get in some movement, during this time of year? How can you say no to some things and take care of you? Because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. I just want you to think about that. That was a game changer for me in my life. So I started saying no to a lot more things, and I was much happier. Okay, so think about that. You can alleviate a lot of the holiday stress with planning, but you have to make time. You can't just show up to an event without having thought about it beforehand and expect to do something different. It's just not going to happen. Because like I said before, you're always going to revert back to old habits if you don't plan ahead with creating a new habit. Okay, so you have to decide to be different. And you have to decide ahead of time of how much celebration will still feel like celebration to you. So food-wise, entertainment-wise, boundaries or limits that you might set for yourself. How you want to feel after the holidays. Do you want to feel proud of yourself, or do you want to feel disappointed and feel like you took 10 steps back and you have 20 steps forward? How do you want to feel? You have to think about it ahead of time. Okay. And honestly, guys, this might mean not attending some events, eating differently. But I want to tell you guys something, that change is possible, but it has to start with you, and that requires changing your thoughts. Okay. And here's something else I just thought of that people tell me, well, people push food on me during the holidays. They literally put a plate in my face and they're like, eat this, right? You're at a holiday party, you're at your grandparents' house, whatever. My grandparents would always push pasta in front of me, right? And people, if this happens, again, your commitment has to start ahead of time, right? And there's a few different things you can say, oh, thank you, I'll try it later, okay? Or thank you, but I've had enough for now, all right? And just divert attention away from you. I do the same thing at the bar, okay? I have some friends that love to drink, and I like my champagne and wine or whatever, but I can't handle drinking as much as other people can. So I'll just divert attention away from me. I'll be like, oh, I'm good, thanks, maybe later. Just divert attention. It's the same thing, right? There's other ways to engage with people about food and make them feel welcomed and not bad about themselves or disrespect them without eating. You can even be oh, how'd you make that? Can you share the recipe with me? Or that looks really awesome. I'd love to try it sometime. Maybe I'll make it for a party. Make them feel good without having to eat it. You can talk about what you're offering without eating it. Like I said, you can even take some home, if they're really insisting, oh my gosh, take this home, please. And then you can eat it at home later if you want, or you cannot give it to someone else. So it's totally up to you. But or the worst case scenario, guys, just say no, thank you. And really, is it that bad to say no, thank you? And if you really think it's that bad, why? What are you making that mean? And this all goes back to your thinking. And I always want you, when these negative thoughts come into your head, stop and be like, what am I making this mean? Why is this upsetting me? Why am I feeling bad? Why am I feeling guilty? Why am I feeling frustrated? Why am I feeling depressed? Why am I feeling out of control? That's what this training is all about, right? And oftentimes, our feelings come from our thoughts here. So what are you thinking? What are you making things mean? All right. And guys, at the end of the day, you control what goes into your body and how you treat it. No one else. All right. I don't think any of you in this group, any of you watching right now, are spoon-fed on the holidays. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. So keep that in mind. Okay. You're not chained to a chair where you can't move for the whole day. I don't buy it. And unless that really is a story, you can write in the group, but I don't believe it. All right, so what I recommend doing also, I gave you guys this little template here, okay, about, what the holidays mean to others and what the holidays mean to you. But, create a plan for yourself. What foods do you want to enjoy? Who will you spend time with? When and how will you exercise? When will you practice self-care? How will you nourish yourself and celebrate the time in ways that don't include food, right? So, recommit to yourself and your goal and realign with your why and your core values, because you're gonna have to make conscious decisions and make it easy to do what you want to do and make it difficult to do what you don't want to do, okay? That's what your plan has to include, bottom line, okay? The things that you want to do, make it easy, and then the things you don't want to do, make it really difficult to do. So for example, some people don't keep sweets in their house because they know that if they want to eat sweets, they have to go and buy them. That's just an example, okay? And then I'll leave you with, one last thought, okay? Choosing not to eat when you're not hungry isn't a bad thing, okay? Depriving yourself is a bad thing. And then there's a big difference between eating when you're not hungry and depriving yourself. Two completely different things. But from my experience, and I'm sure a lot of you can resonate with this, most of us are eating when we're not hungry during the holidays. We're not really deprived. With an abundance of food around us, no one is deprived. I'll give you an example, guys. I'm going on a cruise, not tomorrow, Thursday morning for 4 days with my family, 5 days. And people on the cruise ship, they just load their plates up. Because they're oh, it's free food. Let me just eat everything. It's how much of that food are you actually enjoying? You're eating it just because you're around, right? And I'm sure no one on the cruise is thinking, oh, I feel deprived, right? No, you're eating because they're not, it's around them, right? They can easily choose not to, but it's not in their thoughts, right? And everything goes back to your thinking, okay? So remember, you absolutely, guys, have control over your life and what you put in your mouth and what you do and how you take care of yourself during this holiday season, but it has to come from your thoughts, okay? So if you're interested in learning more about how to really change your thoughts and reframe them so that you can stick to your goals, have a game plan that works for you, and make this next year the best year yet, there's a couple of opportunities for you, actually, okay? Number one, this Wednesday night, so tomorrow night at 8 p.m., I'm doing a special training with my current clients, okay? Clients that I'm currently working with and those that I have worked with me in the past. I'm doing a special training for them, and it's a strategy training. So how to change their thoughts. Today, I talked a lot about, what these thoughts are, and I gave you some simple tips, but this Wednesday night, 8 p.m., I'm doing a Zoom training with specific game plan strategy work. So if you're interested in joining us this Wednesday night, my gift to you, okay, please shoot me an email, Kristen@createmyweight.com, and I will send you the Zoom link so you can join us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? And like I said, that is strategy work. So if you really want to change these thoughts, you have a lot of negative thoughts going through your mind, and you want to join us this Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, shoot me an email, and I will gladly send you the training link so you can join us, okay? And kind of get a look as to how I do mindset training in my program. Okay, that's one option for you. And I'd love to have as many of you as you'd like to come. Okay, 'tis the season of giving, and this is my gift to you. Because I really want you guys to have control over your mind during this holiday season. It's 80% mindset, 20% food and fitness, right? So that's number one. Number two, let's say that you really want to change your life, and you struggle with, maybe the mindset piece, and you don't really know what foods to eat. You have no idea how to get yourself moving again. You haven't worked out in months, and you're like, how do I get this motivation? Where do I begin? You're just overwhelmed, okay? Definitely what I recommend you do is book a call with me. It's totally free, no obligations. I love talking to people about their goals and why they're struggling and give them some kind of clarity. So go to my website, createmyweight.com/apply. And you book a free call with me. We'll talk for about 45 minutes. And I really want to help you get crystal clear on why you feel out of control, what hasn't worked for you and why it hasn't worked for you, and what you need to do to get the results that you want and to overcome these difficult situations, to have relentless motivation and discipline and eat the foods that you love without feeling deprived, and how to enjoy all holidays, all times of the year. Because let's be serious, guys, the holidays is only like really 1 month, 6 weeks maybe, but how many other holidays and celebrations and social events do you have throughout the year? Tons and tons, right? So 2 options. Training this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Email me if you want to join. If you want to talk to me at length about what you're going through, createmyway.com/apply. And I'd love to speak with you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.